Hey people, I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie. A couple days ago, I made a video talking about my number 19 favorite Zappa tour, the 1988 tour, and I never got around in 30 friggin' minutes to recommend shows to check out from this tour. So here are, it was a long tour. It was like February, early February, all the way through June 9th. So a lot of shows, a lot of good sound quality tapes out there, and actually a lot of good shows in the tour. And unlike a lot of tours from, say, almost any other era of Zappa, other than anything like maybe 81 on, maybe 80 on, the set lists were pretty different night after night. Frank did get in a habit where he would kind of play similar set lists for 3 or 4 nights at a time and then shift it, mix it up, and then mix it up again. So it wasn't like every single night was different, but over the course of the tour, what he was playing in early February looked a lot different than what he was playing in May. So you can pick shows from all over and find really good moments that aren't repetitive or only or not only focused on, say, guitar solos, because everything else is played so uniformly excellently, like, say, like a 78 tour. But one thing I think in listening to shows with Frank is I think the general consensus among people who have done a lot of like listening of different shows throughout this tour is the Europe leg is stronger than the US leg. The Europe leg was April, May, and a week and a half in June. May is the strongest of the 3 months, and the first two weeks, 12 days of May, 11 days of May is by far the most consistent run of shows, even stretching into like late April. But that part, late April, early May, that is the peak. And there were great moments throughout, but that's sort of when everything was at its highest. At its just sort of everybody's gelling, the energy's not bad, it's all going smoothly. But throughout the tour, I picked a couple shows from each month that are pretty decent sound quality. There's another couple shows out there that I didn't write down or recommend just because the sound quality is pretty poor, but it's almost, if you have the patience to sit through it, you can kind of feel the energy of a really good show. But and I don't know if I would check these out first. These all sound almost uniformly excellent. And again, this is another case where some of these decisions are based on set lists, and because the set lists differ greatly or can differ greatly, you may not enjoy the show as much as I do. But I think these are solid shows. February, I think the Philadelphia run, it was 3 shows, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. That's a pretty strong run, and I think if you can find all 3 of those shows or listen to those, you'll get a really good sense of this band. The middle show, the 13th, is the best. The second set of the middle show opens up with China into Bushwap, I Am the Walrus, Eric Dolphy Memorial Barbecue, Into the Only Played Jezebel Boy, which is a song I don't like, but it works in this context because the way it erupts out of Eric Dolphy is really good. So the maybe February 13th, Philly, and the 27th in Detroit, February, I really like. There are a lot of 73, 74 era songs here. Plus, Norwegian Wood and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds are played with the original Beatles lyrics. So they weren't changed to reflect the Swagger medley. They were the original, just pretty much sincere Beatle covers. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on to March. March, I don't think had some good moments, but March 13th, I really like. It's just a solid show. It's got a fantastic truck driver's divorce. It's just a nice, well-balanced show. And then probably the best show of March, and maybe one of the best shows of the U.S. leg, is I think the Binghamton Show, March 17th. Actually, maybe this isn't the best show. Binghamton Show is a strange show. I think maybe that 13th show might be the strongest. But the Binghamton Show has a lot of really just strange energy about it. And it just, I don't know. I've always just really liked it. It's felt more, not Vegas-y. It feels like Frank's on the road and like trying to make things work. So March 17th. And then we move on to the Europe leg, which I think just gets much better. For April 14th in Cologne, excellent sounding tape. So again, it's really easy on the ears, and it's still a strong performance, but a really good show. April 22nd, the Ring of Fire show, madness, just Ring of Fire madness. And then April 25th is just a really solid all-around show, well-balanced. If you read any of the comments for the 1988 video, number 19, I think every one of them mentioned Dragon Master Show. May 1st, the Dragon Master Show, A Secret Word Run Rampant. I highly recommend that. And then a couple of days later, May 5th, Dirk, Tom, and Tommy are back where they sign What's the Secret Word for Tonight? And Frank says, oh, there is no secret word for tonight. And apparently he actually meant it, because it's just a solid Europe show that doesn't have any sort of tomfoolery going on. It's just straight music, just a solid show. So May 5th. May 9th is another just all-around really, really strong show. May 24th, we're getting towards the end of the really good shows. This is the Star Wars Won't Work show. That popped up just as a random solo at the end of the show, and it just wrapped up a really, really strong effort. And then 2 days later, probably the last real strong show of the tour, May 26th in Firth. And then once they get to June, there's a handful of shows in June. None of them are that good. They're all kind of inconsistent. Possibly the band was falling apart at this point, but I think the one to check out is the last show, just because it's the last show. There's a couple interesting train wrecks in it that are just, they're train wrecks. So it's interesting to hear the train wrecks in them. And then you get to hear the last song Frank ever played, which, the Illinois Enema Bandit. That makes me sad that he didn't go out with something more, anyways. And one of these shows, and I forgot to write down which one it was when I was taking these notes, has an absolutely amazing, maybe it's the Binghamton Show, when they do a Willy the Pimp, and in the Willy the Pimp, Frank is obviously, instead of doing a guitar solo or during the middle of his solo, he's going to have them play, I think they were going to play Ride of the Valkyries, but somebody misses the cue, and it's just a train wreck. And then after that, they play Purple Haze, and Purple Haze is just kind of a train wreck. That must have been a Europe show, right? But anyways, whatever show that was, man, I'm going to pause this and tell you what show that was, because that's worth checking out. It was that 526 Firth show that has that really weird train crash with Willy the Pimp and the not well executed Purple Haze. Not the best show, but a really interesting show for that moment. And then, the rest of it. It's a good snapshot of not that good late 88 stuff. But that moment, I think, is worth hearing, to hear things go off the rails in real time. So anyways, that's it. Those are things I recommend. In the comments of the 88 video, the number 19, people had recommended shows. You might want to check that out. Those are good recommendations. And if I miss stuff, or you disagree with me, or you have shows that definitely you think people should listen to, please put them in the comments. I read those, and I have sought things out based on what you guys have pointed out to me. So thank you very much. But anyways, that's it. All right, number 18 in a couple of days. Bye, peace, subscribe, all that.